Hello and welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. I'm Niall and I'm delighted to be joined by our friend across the pond, Thomas. Good to catch up with you again. And last night we seen the wrecking ball, Artur Beterbiev, improve his unblemished record to 20-0 with 20 KOs as he stopped Britain's Callum Smith in the seventh round in Quebec, Canada. So in this video, we'll be looking ahead. We'll be getting Thomas's overview of the fight and how he thought it went down, and also asking the question, as you may have seen in the title of this video, can anybody stop this mammoth, this behemoth that is Artur Beterbiev? So Thomas, good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Had a nice Christmas,
Likewise.
and just what did you think of that performance? Did it go as you expected it to go? Did Smith do anything wrong? Or, yeah, just what did you think of how things went down in Canada?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it went just how I expected. Um, Beterbiev is just a machine, it seems like nothing really phases him or hurts him at all. And Callum Smith is supposed to be a big puncher, put people out. And it just seemed like he really had nothing for Beterbiev at all. Um, there were moments where he was like kind of boxing well, and if he had like you know, a little bit more power to make Beterbiev respect him more, perhaps he could have had more success. But yeah, Beterbiev won just about every round. It was really a beatdown. Um, and yeah, to be honest with you, it went just how I figured it to go. If anything, I thought it would have lasted longer. I expected Beterbiev to stop him later, but yeah, honestly, for Smith's sake, it's probably better that it was stopped as early as it was. Because right before that fight was about to be stopped, I was like, man, I don't know if he can take six more rounds of this. This is pretty brutal. So yeah, kind of how I expected it to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I have to agree in the fact that he's just so frightening. We done the reaction show last night on the channel with Elliot, and I compared him to our generation's George Foreman. Just that power is so rare. It's crazy. It's like a slow death. He's
Yeah.
not going to put you out with one shot. He's going to torture you. He takes a bit of your soul every time he lands on you, and just as soon as he touches these guys, they're frightened by the power. They know what's in store for them, and it's not just all power that I think is the incredible thing about Beterbiev. He has the boxing knowledge and how clever he is to go along with the power. He doesn't waste shots, doesn't waste movement. He closes the ring down so well. The educated pressure to go with the power just makes him frightening. And I was a Callum Smith backer all week, and I was left with a egg on my face. But it's a privilege to watch him when he's on that form. He's frightening. I wouldn't want to fight him, but it's great to watch him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have to agree. He's a scary man. But so in terms of what's next, and what kind of even beyond why we're here for the video is, I'm not going to ask you what I think what you want to be next, because I think we all know what we want next, and I do think it will happen next. So I'm going to lay the question on you now. You know what we're here for. Can anybody stop Artur Beterbiev? Is he unbeatable? First of all, do you think Bivol can beat him? And if not, who would you pick to take down this monster?
I think if anybody had the best chance, it would be Bivol. Um, I don't know. That being said, I'm still not entirely sure whether or not he can do it. That's a um man, the thing about that is you know, Bivol, and we saw, last night, um Beterbiev can really take a shot, and he's very durable, and I just don't know if Bivol really has that power to keep Beterbiev off of him. Um, but I do think that he would be the most likely guy to beat him, because I think, if he kind of does what he did to Canelo and keeps Beterbiev at the end of his reach and, you know, keeps out punching, out boxing Beterbiev. I think he can do it, but it would have to be, 100% perfect performance. It would probably go the distance. I don't think he would knock out Beterbiev. Um, but man, I don't know if he can go, uh, a full 12 rounds without being hit with something, you know. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to, being hit by Beterbiev. But anyway, yeah, outside of Bivol, I'm not really sure who else would be you know, a good challenger. Maybe Canelo, maybe. But even that's a tough matchup for Canelo. I don't know if you'd be able to really get past Beterbiev, but yeah, those are my thoughts on who could, possibly challenge Beterbiev at this point. What about you?
Yeah, I have to agree. You've made a great point there in saying that the lack of power for Bivol would be a major worry in that fight. As brilliant as he is, and as good as IQ as he has, and defensively, he's not going to really put a dent in Beterbiev power wise. That's just a fact, and maybe that's what you need to stop this man is to really rock him. But even then, we've seen the likes of Yard rocked him, Callum Johnson put him down and still couldn't put him away. So I did pick Bivol to beat him. Now it's not a confident pick, but if I had to choose, I'd just say Bivol might be a bit too clever for him. But I'm so curious to see how they go if Bivol, if as soon as Beterbiev starts landing those shots, how Bivol reacts because we see him with Beterbiev, he can land anywhere. If he lands on arms, shoulders, chest, he's gonna hurt you and he's gonna take something out of you. So it'll be interesting to see could Bivol kind of, evade that all night. He's brilliant enough to do it, but Beterbiev is still frightening enough to put Bivol away. So if I had to pick between Beterbiev and Bivol, I'd pick Bivol just about. But I get what you're saying, and that he'd have to be punch perfect from minute one to minute, the last minute of the fight. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it's safe to say that it's one of the most intriguing fights that can be made, if not the most intriguing fight that can be made in boxing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good point. But I'm gonna ask you probably one final question before we go. Let's say let's look past, let's say in a world that he does beat Dmitry Bivol, would you be able to see Artur Beterbiev move up to cruiserweight and be successful there? I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but do you think he could jump up, and how do you think he'd fare against the cruiserweight champions?
Um, Honestly, that I'm not sure how well he'd fare at cruiserweight. I don't really see him like I'm not exactly sure what he walks around at typically, but I don't really feel like he would, suit well at 200 pounds. He would probably come in well below the limit, I'd assume. And that excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Apataya?
Yeah, Jai
Okay,
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's looking really good right now. So I don't know, like that would be a huge step up, but it would probably be, the most logical step for him if he wants to keep fighting. And that's if I don't, he's getting, he's about almost 40 now. He turns 39, I think they said this month
yeah,
in the broadcast. So it will be, we'll see if he continues past Bivol if that fight happens. But it would probably be if he wants to keep fighting, then why not move up to cruiserweight and test himself?
yeah. I agree. I think in terms of what you said, is he might be undersized. He's quite a short man, but the strength is just frightening. The strength and what would win the day, I think, for me, a cruiserweight, and if Beterbiev against Jai Opetaia. Say if Beterbiev was to beat Bivol and fight Jai Opetaia, that'd be a dream fight. Even Bivol versus Opetaia, which has been rumored, would be fantastic. But yeah, let's get Bivol Beterbiev out of the way first. That's a huge one. You know,
Yes.
that's the one we want to see. That's the one that hopefully will be next, whether it be in Saudi Arabia or Canada. My guess is for Saudi Arabia, to be honest. But
Right.
yeah, that was our reaction to Beterbiev demolishing Callum Smith in Canada, and also kind of looking ahead to the future and seeing could this wrecking ball, this knockout king finish his career unbeaten. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with myself or Thomas? Do you think he beat Bivol? Or who even beyond Bivol, as Thomas mentioned, Canelo? Could Canelo come up and kind of shock the world and get a win over Beterbiev? Who knows? So yeah, that's our thoughts. So don't forget to like, subscribe, drop us a follow on social media. We great content, reviews, interviews, previews, all that good stuff. So Thomas, good talking to you and speak next time.
Likewise, buddy. Thank you.
Cheers.